first, I mean, in a lot of sports they talk about how hard it is to beat somebody 3 times in one season. I guess for you, where kind of did it go wrong tonight?
I think first things first, I don't believe that the scoreline indicated what actually happened on the field. I thought it was frustrating in certain moments, but there were a lot of really good moments as well. And I think just a couple of unfortunate bounces defensively and a couple of late reactions, and then just a couple unlucky bounces or just a little bit of untimeliness in our offensive end. I think we created a lot of chances to score goals, and it's just really unfortunate that we conceded as many as we did tonight. Nat Mitchell wasn't in the last game, and she scored all 4 tonight. She's a really talented player that's very dangerous running out of midfield. And we had a lot of changes in the lineup tonight for various reasons, injuries and other things. But the girls, they fought, they battled. They worked their tails off, that's for sure, in hot and humid conditions after driving 3.5 hours and dealing with traffic and things like that. So tough to beat a team twice, tough to beat a team 3 times, but fair play to everybody involved because it was a good match.
Obviously, when you do that, and especially when the last one's 5-0, you'd expect things to change on the other side. Did you see any big differences from them tonight?
Yeah, I think they just came out with a bit more energy, and I think that's easy to do when you're playing at home and you haven't had to sit in a car for 3.5 hours and things like that. But no, I think just a little bit of a couple different personnel changes for them today that were, I think, really dangerous for us, and they were able to capitalize on it.
Obviously, kind of, Grace's injury, Emily being away at camp, those are kind of, I'd say, your 2 big voices this year. When you don't have those, how does that kind of affect things?
I think it's just, we put players in positions where they're kind of forced to step up, and we had to throw a couple of our young players into the deep end today, and it's just, we're building more experience here, and I think that was honestly the biggest challenge today, is just the organization of things off the ball, because we're missing 2 really big voices. And even with Chris Molloy, broke her ankle against Dayton last week, a girl just coming in late and swinging through her leg. So she had to go home and see her doctors and all that stuff. So that's really our 3 main voices on the field are gone due to injury and other things. So it's a good opportunity for some other players to step in, and I think a learning experience tonight.
It hasn't been just an away game thing, but obviously this is the last away game, and the young players, I'd say, have featured the most in the away games, just kind of due to the way things work in the W League. Just kind of your reflection on those 5 games and how those players have kind of stepped up into roles that we haven't seen, a ton of in the first 3 years of this club.
I think outside of one of our academy kids this year, the other 9 is their first experience. So again, I mean, we were in a position this year where a lot of those kids were, like I said, pretty well just thrown into the deep end, and they were basically forced to either sink or swim. And so, look, I think results have been what they have been, but I don't necessarily think it's been, like I said, totally reflective of their performances on the field. They've done really well. They're high-level players, but they don't have really, this is their first experience at the W League level, and they're playing against college kids. And we've got 3 or 4 girls that are only going to be seniors in high school playing with us this summer. And so for them, I think the experience now is invaluable, and hopes that they'll go on and have great fall seasons with their high schools or their colleges, and those kids will come back next year more experienced and I think more prepared for the next seasons to come.
And just the last one for me is, there hasn't been a ton of people to wear the armband. Allie got it tonight, obviously, with Emily and Grace being away. Is she somebody that, as fans watch this club in future years, that they could keep their eye on in terms of that specifically?
I mean, I think as long as she wants to keep coming back, she's been great for us all year. She's been a rock in the midfield for us, along with Ami and Asa and Olivia Smith. Olivia Joyce has done really well to step into the midfield as an academy player as well. And I think we're getting to the point of the season where we've played a lot of games, and now we've got a handful of games in a very short period of time, and so it's just trying to manage people and their legs and their fitness and things like that, so we can keep them healthy going into their fall seasons. But no, I think again, it's just an opportunity for Allie to step into a slightly different role. She was asked to play center back at the start of the game today, and it's a position she has some experience in, but not a ton. And so we threw a lot on her today with the armband and playing out of position and things like that. And I think after the first half, a little bit of frustration, but she's only going into her sophomore year of college. So again, it's a very young team, very inexperienced, going into this season. So I just think that hopefully, we'll continue to build on what we've got here for the next couple of years, and these players will come back in the next seasons and be more prepared and ready to go.
I lied. I got one more.
Yeah.
Last two are at home, obviously. Just a message to anybody to come out to the last couple of games.
Last two games at home. I think the most important thing is just for our fans to be there, because when the place is loud and it's rocking, the players feed off that energy when it's on the field, and so the more fans and the more energy we can get from them, it really would be fantastic. And especially for Grace's situation, she's given so much to the club, and she's been such an important piece of what we've done here over the last 4 years. And so I know she really wants to be at the games, and she will be next week, especially Tuesday, because she's going to have her surgery at the end of next week. So I think just giving the fans one last opportunity for them to come out and see some of the senior players who are getting ready to move on to other parts of their lives, but again, it's just their energy we feed off at home, and so I think that's the most important thing, is having them there.